with recording. And then approval of our minutes from last time. Anybody have any comments, suggestions, changes they noticed from our December 8th meeting? All right, I think we'll consider those done then. So, you know, our actual agenda is very light for today. There's only one kind of item of old business on there. So we can move through it relatively quickly. Maybe when we talk about the reports from the subcommittees, we can talk about organizing ourselves for our work in the coming year a little bit. But we can start, as we always do, with any member reports from folks who've done anything over the past 5 weeks or so they'd like to report out on.
I haven't done it yet, but I'm gonna do it. Did I interrupt somebody? No? Okay. I signed up for a 6-week Wide Awake workshop that is facilitated by a whole bunch of people that I know by reputation, and they're all very good. And it's going to talk about the European history of whiteness and some of the other complications around sexual orientation and also being Jewish. And I just thought, this sounds really good because I know these people are good. So I signed up for it. Then I realized I was going to have to work and read things and engage and behave, do things. And I thought, oh, I don't want to do this. And then I kicked myself in the butt. So now I am going to take this workshop and I will report, but I feel like it's going to be high quality, and so many of these things aren't. So that's my big deal. I haven't sent the letter to the downtown partnership yet about finding other ways to celebrate the solstice, but I will do that. That's on my agenda. That's my report.
Great, thanks, Jane. Others? Yeah, Amy.
I saw Jason Reynolds speak. When did we do that? Sunday? Yes. So he gave a talk through NCTE. NWP, sorry, National Writing Project, not the National Council of Teachers in English, but that was, he was on for an hour. It was a webinar. It was interesting. And I am happy to report that Felicia, Derek, and Esme have been keeping very, very busy. I will be sending this to the town, but I'm going to put links into some of the events that they are working on. Oh, I don't know if I've got the links. I will share you links with you before the end of the evening, but we have a whole bunch of, we've got a couple of speakers coming up. Audio Shelfies is going great. So these 3 students have been on fire. So, and then I have not written my little introduction to the calendar. And I remembered I had to do that, and then I was reminded again, but so I'll have it done this weekend.
No worries. So, and that work for Felicia, Derek, and Esme is part of DD. Is that where that's all that action is happening? I know you met on Monday.
Yeah, they're just amazing. So I started putting together a document to share with all of you and to make sure that it gets out to the town. So I'll make sure I share that at the end of the meeting.
Great, great. Yeah, and let us know if there's more we can do to be helpful. Obviously, very supportive of that work, and great to have this this connection. And no need to apologize on anybody's side for all the things that we know we have in motion and will continue forth. I hope everybody took a break over the new year and just, you know, breathed into 2022, because I think we're all going to need a little stamina in this coming year. So yeah, no need to apologize. Other reports, Katie.
So an update on the diversion program that we've had in the works. We are anticipating to have the memorandums of agreement on the January 24th Town Council agenda. And we are hoping that with all of the lawyer reviews and the encouragement that we've gotten from Town Council, that they will be excited to sign quickly. It might, you know, take a little bit longer than just a quick yes, but we're feeling pretty good about that getting underway relatively quickly. And then once they do agree and sign off on it, and then Wellington and Ashford sign, we'll be able to start accepting cases for diversion. In the meantime, we are orienting our diversion team of volunteers and administrators from schools and things like that on tomorrow, where we've moved it to a virtual program just with the spike in numbers. And since it isn't going to be an actual circle for referred youth, we're just going to kind of do that orientation online, with the hopes that by the time we start receiving referrals, we'll be able to be in person, but we'll kind of ride whatever wave we need to ride. But we're really excited about the amount of excitement and enthusiasm that we really do have. We've had so many people in the community reach out wanting to be on it, which is an amazing thing. Like when you start a new program, like I don't know how often like you get a call saying, hey, I heard you're doing this thing, I want in. So it's really been exciting to have that word of mouth get to folks who care about kids and diversion. And we're really excited to get everybody together tomorrow.
Perfect. Thank you, Katie. That's exciting. Yeah, definitely share it with us, whatever we can do to also help get that that word out. Delighted to see this this come to well, close to coming to fruition. Fingers crossed that that it all goes smoothly. I'm sure it will, and we'll be excited to see how it works. The support it's able to provide to young people, and then any way, of course, that we can be helpful in supporting that, please do let us know. Do you know if does Wyndham have a diversion program as well?
Wyndham does have a juvenile review
Okay.
board that's run through their youth service bureau. I think Pat Calvo is their
Okay.
point person for that, and I think it's actually one of their bigger services that they run out of their
Yeah,
YSB.
yeah. Okay. Okay, thank you. Other members have anything to report?
I have one other thing. I just remembered. I had a nice conversation with Ron Shuren the other day, who's on the town council, and he reached out to me. He wanted to know why we put Jewish in the cultural groups or the ethnic groups. And I said, Ron, I don't remember. I said, I know we had a long conversation and I know I made a lot of noise and nobody really challenged me, and that's where it wound up. And so we discussed it, because where you put Jewish people when they become an ethnic group is very dangerous, since that's exactly what Hitler did and Donald Trump did. But anyway, I just wanted you to know that he cared enough to ask why we did that. And so we probably need to revisit it with somebody who is better informed than I am.
Yeah, I actually had a question about that too, and I don't think you were at that meeting, and I wasn't at the meeting where you brought it up. So as a Jew, I didn't feel
Tenuous
comfortable.
though that may be.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I would
I
definitely
think we
look
need to
into
get
it.
somebody who knows something about this to talk to us about it, you know? Because and this new workshop that I signed up for has like a Jewish caucus in it, but I don't know if that'll be helpful or not.
Great. So so that's a good note, that when we revisit the possibility of running the survey again, there'll be multiple things we want to focus on, but that one, let's make sure we spend some time both to educate ourselves and then to make whatever is the best decision we judge to be the best decision on these cases, right? I don't know that there's ever a right or wrong answer across the board every time, and so we'll continue to learn and refine that instrument. Thanks for flagging that, Jane. I know he reached out via email to me, and then I sent him to you. So
well, that was fine. I was very happy to talk to him, and I was glad he cared enough to ask, you know.
Yes. So clearly, at least some of the town council read the report, which is good. So I guess that's a good segue to my own report. Right at the end of the last meeting, right, you had all authorized me to put the final touches on the report and to communicate it to the town manager's office prior to the Human Rights Day, which was 2 days after our meeting. So I did so. I sent it on to Ryan with a short note of thanks for their support and an offer to discuss any of the findings. And then we had a little back and forth about getting it on the town council agenda. And there was going to be technically one on the books before the end of the year, but they always they tend to defer that meeting since it comes right around the holidays. And then the first of the year tends to be taken up with a wide range of activities. I thought it was going to be the next session, and so there'd be a little more room for us, but instead it went on there. Maybe we can revisit it with them. Maybe it was in. So what happened, right, is that it got inserted, but as a communications, which is not an agenda item. It's like any other email or anything that the council gets, and it goes into the packet for them to review, but is not an agenda for discussion, an item on their agenda for discussion. And so I think there is probably an opportunity to ask for it to be raised to an agenda item if we thought we wanted the council to deliberate on it, or we wanted to make a presentation. So that's something we could consider. But at least the status is it's the town manager has it, the town council now has it, and clearly, again, with Councilman Shuren reaching out, it's being reviewed. So I think that's all good for our end of year work last year. Any other reports? Katie, please.
I will just throw out that the town is entering budget season. So if there are things that this commission is thinking about wanting to advocate for being in the budget, those communications and letters, now is a good time to send those in if there's things that this group has on its radar that they would like to be included somewhere.
Great, thank you. That's probably a good thing for both of the subcommittees to take up in their next meetings, which are this month, right? So to maybe familiarize ourselves a little bit with the budgeting process, and then to take a look, and then that stuff could come up to the full commission and at our next meeting and get to the council in time to be considered fully, along with the rest of the budget proposals for the coming year. Okay, anything else in the way of member reports? Okay, so moving on to our next item, old business, we have one item there, and that's the community conversations. So Jane, I'll turn it over to you for some updates here.
Yeah, it's been quite a ride. We got turned down for the one grant application that we made. I have consulted with two extremely knowledgeable support people, Amy and Katie, about how one goes about this. And basically it came down to, we didn't have any money, so we couldn't do anything. And I wish I had been better informed and well, I wish I'd had more experience, but you can always wish that in hindsight. So now I kind of know what we're dealing with, and I think we're going to have community conversations next year. And I've got two pieces to it at this point. I like the group conversation part, and I have to go find somebody who can give us some money, and I have to do that grant process, and I will do that as soon as I get out of Harbor Nation. And the other thing I want to do is to do a little book group on Waking Up White, which was the first speaker that I wanted to have, and she cost $2,000. So I'm going to talk to Leslie in the library and see if I can get a book group to talk about that book, and under the aegis of collaborating with us in the library. Sarah Kaufhold told me that the Connecticut Council for the Humanities gives grants for things like that. They love book discussions, and they have 5 review cycles a year, so your odds of getting considered quickly are better. So I'm going to follow up with that. So and it's going to be a 2-part process. Now I want to get that book and see if I can get some money and we can get a book discussion jointly sponsored with the library. And then the other one of all the different people who live here talking about who they are and what it's like to live here, I think is going over into next fall after I find some money, because I now know you can't do this until you have money. So anyway, this has been an extremely helpful, informative, and educational process for me, and I appreciate the opportunity to learn how to do all this stuff and fail in public and not think I'm going to die. So there you go. That's where we are. And next fall, we'll probably be doing something if I can convince somebody to give us some money. The end. Feedback and other kinds of support and technical information, much appreciated.
Well, Jane, I'll just say thank you for taking this on. It was something I think everybody supported, but you took the initiative on, and I think all of us are on a learning curve as part of this this HRC. And then you just shot out in front of that learning curve and learned a lot for us all, which I think we're all going to benefit from, as we try and do more exciting, more engaging, and more impactful work. So I appreciate you just stepping out and doing it, and know that you have our support in pursuing these. I think we all. Well, I won't speak for everybody, but I certainly still think this is a good idea and would very much, like to see it come to fruition. I think we've all learned some degree of patience under the conditions we live and work, and I recognize that good things take a while sometimes, and that's okay. And in fact, that gives us more time to lay good groundwork and make sure that they're as impactful as they can be. So.
Yeah, and Glenn, you suggested that I ask for some feedback from the foundation that we applied to, but my impression of them, excuse me, was that they're just really nasty. They didn't want to give me feedback. They wouldn't even tell me when they were going to make their decision. So I thought, you know what? Thank you very much. And I think this isn't a group I particularly want to work with. So I think I'm just going to start all over again.
I think that's wise to be aware enough, right? Don't ask for advice from people you wouldn't take it from. So yeah, no, that makes sense. So and I agree with Connecticut Humanities. It's the quick grants are pretty straightforward and fast turnaround. And CT Humanities is actually flush with money right now, so it's a good time to ask them for cash.
I got to get working on that. That'll be my next week with them.
Okay. Other members of the commission, any thoughts? Anybody else have thoughts? Feedback?
Jane, as you know, I'm, as you mentioned, and thank you for the shout out, Katie. I very much enjoyed the conversation I had with you and Katie. And I'm certainly here to support you and continue to rally for this to happen, because I do think I agree, it's a wonderful idea and opportunity. And just as you all have done for the deliberation and discourse kids, we will advertise for you and try to, drum up support in any way that we're able. So yeah, I'm excited for this.
Great. Any other contributions, thoughts on this point? Okay, thanks Jane again. Thanks everybody, and that's our one item on old business and new business. So we're starting 2022 with a pretty clean slate. I expect our agendas to fill up as we go along. For sure. We don't have any communications. Reports of subcommittees, we can do those quickly. Town charge, anything from that subcommittee?
We didn't meet. I think as far as I know, our last meeting was canceled. And if it wasn't, then I failed to attend. But I'm pretty sure.
Right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. I couldn't remember if that was the communications or town charge, but you're right, because it fell between Christmas and New Year, and it couldn't have been. And the only thing we needed to do was to approve the schedule, and looks like we're able to do that. So yeah. Okay. So the report of the town charges that we'll meet in a couple of weeks and get down to work. I think probably extending the survey results and finding new things to focus on. So great. Thanks for that reminder, Heather. Communications outreach, any report?
This is a question, and I don't know, Glenn, if you know anything. I know a little bit. There is a project going on that Sarah Kaufhold is running, and I think is sponsored by CORE on witness stones. Has anybody heard anything about that? And it is proceeding apace.
Glenn-
Sounds really exciting and is getting expanded. And I think people ought to know about it. I think it's really wonderful. Amy, do you know any more about it?
Yeah, actually, Jane, we've the DD group is trying to help out. We have been in touch with Sarah Kaufhold, and I'm glad that you mentioned this because I need to follow up with her. But she was interested in having our students help with that project as well. Do people on the commission, are people aware of what this
You know what
is?
that is?
Yes.
Go ahead and just go ahead and give a good overview quickly, Amy.
You want to go ahead? Oh, do you want to go ahead, Jane, or do you want me to do it?
Yeah, no, I'll do it. It's a research project that's basically aimed at middle school kids for them to identify people who were enslaved in their local area and to research as much as they can about where they lived, who they lived with, where they worshiped, and what kind of work they did, and all that other sort of stuff. And to put together a biography about an enslaved person who lived in your town. And then they make some kind of a stone, and I'm not exactly sure what that stone looks like, to commemorate the fact that this enslaved person lived here. And so the 8th grade has been doing this for a significant period of time and rounding up information. And they figured out some way, I think, to transfer some of it to the high school, but I'm not sure. So they've got one person for this year and they picked another person for next year. And ultimately we should have several witness stones around town. And the debate was, should we put them all in one place? So that somebody can go there and find out all these people lived here and were enslaved here, or should we just put one like on the town in front of the town hall, and then a map of where you can find other people, other stones? Because the idea is we are living in an area whose history we're not familiar with, and we should walk around town and find it and find out where it happened. And and this is our town and this is what happened here. So it's a very exciting project, and the 8th grade is doing a lot of historical research, and then the English classes are doing the writing for it. And so they've really integrated into the curriculum. It's a very nice, well done project, I think.
Great. So it sounds like there's some interest in engaging that. Is that true as a commission? Or just keeping track at the very minimum of what's happening?
Yeah, I think we ought to keep track. And I don't know if there is a thing that would benefit from co-sponsorship, or we should just help with telling everybody what's going on. And I think Sarah kind of took a hiatus for a little while too. And so when she gets back up and running, we'll ask her if she feels like there's any way for us to be connected that would be productive.
Great. Okay. So we'll monitor and keep abreast of what's happening. Okay. Anything else out of the communications subcommittee at this point? I know you'll be meeting next week, so we'll have more work out of that. Okay. Well, I know we're saving all our energy and long meetings for later this year, but it looks like we are at an end, right? We've got no public here for public comment. Felicia, Derek, I don't know if you have anything as the interns that you want to report out on. I know you both did so last time around, so hopefully, again, you all took nice breaks as well. So, all right. Well, with that, then let's call it a meeting at 7:29. So, way to be efficient, Human Rights Commission. All right. We'll be in touch. Take care, everybody. Stay
Night,
safe.
everyone.
And yeah,
Take
we'll see you
care.
soon.
Happy New Year, everybody.